Thank you, Mr. President, and I appreciate the discussion we've had here. And I agree, it is a simple concept when we look at this legislation and this amendment. And the Senator Warren is right to point out, simple is important. And simple is making sure care is exercised in the execution of duties. That's a simple concept. And you're right. As split-second decisions are being made, we want to make sure that there is protection for officers that's actually reliable, rather than an unconstitutional standard being no meaningful protection. That's a simple concept. Based on this discussion, you would think that the law enforcement community would be flooding with its support of this legislation. Interestingly enough, it is not. You see, there's a certain thing about law enforcement officers. They're called to a duty to protect and serve. And it's a tough job. And it's a job that involves making some tough decisions, as the Senator from Warren pointed out, in split-second situations. It's made tougher by people who walk in and try to politicize their job, to try to bring in an influx of litigation with court challenges to unconstitutional standards, when we can sit here and see what would actually be a solution. That's a problem. Don't take my word for it. Look at the registrations on this. You would think we would have overwhelming support from law enforcement officers across this state saying, yes, thank you for doing this for us. It's missing because actually engaging law enforcement in a discussion about what actually makes policing and communities safer is missing. This should be an easy vote here. This should be the moment for bipartisanship here. This should be the moment where we actually start solving problems and making our communities safer. Instead, we're preserving the political question. Look at the registrations on this. Where's the support from the Iowa police officers? It's missing. The Iowa State Police Association, missing. Chiefs of police, affirmatively against. State Police Officers Council, Teamsters Law Enforcement, even county attorneys can see the problems with this legislation. But you guys know better. You're going to proceed anyway, without due care. Now look, it's a simple concept to say, if we're going to say you have no liability whatsoever for what you do, you at least have to exercise due care as you do it. If you can show you were acting in good faith, then we acknowledge you should be entitled to protections, because split-second decisions are pretty hard to make in real time and pretty easy to judge in hindsight. A due care standard is a meaningful standard and meaningful protection for our communities as well as our police officers. Missing that, and you're protecting potentially careless and reckless behavior with very serious consequences. There's a reason why our courts are saying you need due care in a standard where you allow immunity. It's simple and it's basic.